team, uh, like for his own good, he's willing to make some bad decisions.
Yeah, he's a bad decision all the way around.
Good character.
Yeah, he's a cool character. And all of the enlisted men are just following suit. Oh, this is going into the art a little bit and a little more of the storytelling. Sure. But whilst we were talking about the backstory of how each of these men aboard this boat, aboard this mission, each one doesn't have a family.
Boats in this big river.
And each one doesn't have a family, and they do this cool little single-page vignette of each character. Well, there's a bunch of people on this boat, but like several of the characters are given their own little vignette of where they stand without a family. And how each one lost their family, and it's beautifully done with like color on one side, black and white with a dot of red on each one.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool because like even the use of the red, I think you've seen it in whatever Schindler's List or other things where it's black and white with a red thing, but I think they did it really well because that red thing was like the way that person died.
Yeah.
And it was cool when, like Larry was saying, where it's divided in the middle, but it's not like it's still connected.
Yeah, and it's quick. It's just like one page, and then they're right back into the story. And the story is the entire crew has come across after several weeks upon this river. It's boring. They come to something that gives their idle hands purpose, and that purpose is in exploring this St. Louis Arch. And this thing is massive, and it looks like it's made out of trees that have grown together into a giant arch, but it also looks man-made. And so they divide up to investigate this thing, and whilst they're dividing up and investigating, there's some machination about like let's go ahead and plan a mutiny, and this guy catches him. He's like, oh, if they found out you were going to have a mutiny, you'd be in big trouble. That's big trouble. But before that even gets going, we see an animal come out of the brush and topple one of these guys, smashing. And it does a good job of not showing you quite what the animal is, but giving you little glimpses along the way where you're like, oh, okay, it's some kind of like hoofed animal. And then it's like, oh, it has the back end of maybe a horse or something. And then it does a black and white profile where it's like the light is shining from behind them and you can kind of just get an outline, which I thought was a great 75% reveal. 75% reveal. What are we looking at here, James? Because this is nuts. They don't even have a name for it in the book. Yeah, there's no name for it in the book. Maybe we should call it a minotaur, but it's not a minotaur because it's a buffalo instead of a bull. And I thought that was kind of funny because it's like, I don't know what it would be either. This is the coolest looking beast. But before we get to the cool looking beast, we see that the guy who caught the mutineers, he's hurt. He's hurt, but not fatally hurt until the mutineer finishes him off. Yeah, he's like, oh, shoot, his neck's broken. Oh, he's a bad dude. He is a bad dude. But then we see this full-size reveal of this amazing-looking monster. Yeah, and this is the perfect hook to get me wanting to read the next issue. And I know Larry did, and I'm jealous of him because I did not. Oh, I have read. Like I said, we've read that. We're current with this one, so it stays true to these introductions of other monsters. I'll just leave it at that. But this monster, just looking at the anatomy of this monster, you see him. He's dead. He's been shot by the entire crew. Everybody took a shot at him, and he looks like he's a full-grown buffalo with a with Arnold
Human body
Schwarzenegger's
as a neck.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's torso and arms, and then this is my favorite part of this is
Me too.
he has a buffalo's head.
I knew. Yeah, that's my favorite part because the buffalo head looks so cool. It kind of reminds me of what was that comic we read recently where they were all animals?
He was Seven Scars, and it was
Yeah. There was like a buffalo like at the beginning the dogs like screwed over the buffalo, and those buffalo looked very similar.
Yeah, the Autumn Lands.
Yeah, Autumn Lands. There we go. But I thought like one of my favorite parts about the buffalo is like it has that weird like mane thing.
Yeah.
In this buffalo centaur minotaur type character, that covers like the transition between the human body and the animal of the buffalo, and I've always thought that that's like the weak point in a lot of centaur minotaur type creatures is that transition, and so it makes it just look like a wild beast but still has that it's a wild animal.
It's a wild beast, but he's also part of a tribe, and you know that he's part of a tribe because he has the paintings. He has war paint on his tail, face, and horns.
He's got a weird, like, shoulder guard.
Yeah, he's a fighter.
So that gives you, like, a little more, okay, is he going to be able to, like, speak a language? Is he, like, is it, like, a symbol for Native Americans and how we, like, treated him like, I don't know how deep it will go in that direction, but I'm curious to know like how smart they are and how strong, like what are the limitations of these creatures.
And so is I guess it's Clark in this, who is the guy who he was the botanist and also the guy who is
taxidermist.
He's performing all of the autopsies on all of the creatures they find, and he finds out that this one is a baby. And at almost 8 feet tall, a very big baby.
Wait, so when did this end? What was the page?
25.
Okay, yeah. So
we are.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what page I must be.
Because mine ended on him dying.
Oh shoot! We're there. We did it. This is the ending. So I don't want to go beyond this. So,
but if you read it yourself, like anyone reading on Comixology, like you definitely will.
Yeah. So
if you do like Larry will, you won't even notice how much time's passed.
Yeah, because a lot of times they'll break this up into covers. Like that's how you know you ended. So, boy, I almost went too far. So there we go.
All right, I'm here for you, Larry.
Fantastic first issue.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And exciting, lots of character development, and a lot of
plot. The plot really gets covered. Like it goes through a lot of steps and stages in your 25 pages. What did you think about like we talked about the art of like the big pages and the landscape, and then of our buffalo character. What did you think about the characters?
All the characters are done really great. We didn't talk about the back and forth between Lewis and Clark. They have a very fun relationship that you would almost see in like a buddy cop movie where like one is by the book and the other's a little fast and loose. And we see that when
Jesse James and or Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yeah, we see that when Clark shoots down Lewis shoots down the bird, and he's just like, just name him after me, and he's like, well,
yeah, I thought that was funny.
We can't keep doing that, like every bird in
call him the Clark heron.
Yeah, every bird's going to be named after you, every creature.
The Stellar J. Stellar did that. I don't know who he was, but he was like one of the first explorers, I guess, and he named everything after himself.
Is that right?
Yeah, Stellar.
That's the Stellar Peaks.
The Stellar Elephant Seal or whatever.
and then the unsavories. That's what the enlisted men call these the guys that got out of the stockades for this volunteer trip. You know, they're going to get pardons after they get back. And each one of them have their own, like the artist has done a really great job of doing,
giving each character their own
really
look,
their own look. And there's a little side thing that doesn't bother me, but at the same time I'm just like, wow, I'm always just like stunned by like formality. And when they're, and you may have not noticed this, but I noticed it, like, what? But when they're on the ship proper, Lewis and Clark and the enlisted men are in uniform. But when they go ashore, they're in these leather things. You know,
I didn't notice that.
They're exploring uniforms. I thought that was pretty cool little detail.
Yeah, that's a detail orient. Well, and especially because characters wear different clothes. Like, I think with superheroes, it's like, Superman always has the,
who
big S on his chest.
You know who.
But, so it makes it more difficult, but these faces are so distinct that it can really pull it off.
Yeah, and there's some great art. There's one little picture of, so they are on a fact-finding mission, and they want samples of everything, I guess, west of the Mississippi. And one guy picks, so they go to get these samples, and there's a particular orchid or something that somebody snaps off.
Yeah,
off of this thing.
Cool.
Oh, it looks just like a scary skull face.
It's almost like Georgia O'Keeffe. Like she'd always paint flowers, and they'd look like other things.
Yeah,
this flower looks like a scary face.
A scary face coming at you, and it's picked right off of this gigantic arch. That who made this? What? That's a hook by itself. This arch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's almost like the flower almost looks like an orchid as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the art is very solid. It's the same artist throughout the entire series so far, and Sweet. It doesn't falter. Even when we get really deep into the exploration, like beards start appearing, like clothes
That's
get
fun.
shabby. So they take those necessities to bring it all to reality.
Sweet.
It's a great series. All right.
So I guess I already said that it's my third favorite, right after The Dying and the Dead. So that's
high
good
praise.
company it's having. Yeah, I am seeing Axe Cop as number one, and I'm maybe it was number two.
Well,
all right. So what do we got next week, Larry?
That's cool That's cool that you mentioned Axe Cop, because I want to keep that fun summertime all ages feel going.
Kind of like DuckTales.
This is another all ages book, and this was a very popular book from 2015. It was on a lot of number one or a lot of different top 10 lists, including Entertainment Weekly and New York Times, I think, put this on a graphic novels type comics list. It's called Lumberjanes, and
whoa, I like that name already.
And it's all about super fun 5 girls at camp, and they have to fight off all kinds of magic demons and stuff, and they're at summer camp. So
wait, did you say Lumberjanes?
It's the Lumberjanes.
I thought you said Lumberjames.
Lumberjames. No.
That was so close to being way better.
It's not the Lumberjacks. It's the Lumberjanes, and it was written
I think
by...
you'd go Jill.
Yeah, that would make more... No,
I guess Jay, like Jack. Lumberjack.
So, Lumberjanes, number one, on a bunch of these are available on Comixology, so you got to jump on board for this. So it's Noelle Stevens and Grace Ellis who wrote this, and Brooke A. Ellen who drew it. And
nice.
It's published by Boom Entertainment, like I said, 2015. Lumberjanes. I'm excited to read it because I know that it was popular. I'd never read it and it's all ages. So we need that all
Yeah,
ages.
for all you kids out there.
So